In today's day and age, we as a society have expanded the diet culture immensely. While there are many diets to choose from, for the most part, they rely on restricting certain food groups or cutting them out altogether. While this may work for some long term, for the majority of people, diets such as these are not sustainable and often lead to low success rates. But what if I told you that there's a healthy and effective way of losing weight that doesn't restrict you from eating your favorite foods? Intermittent fasting is one of the most unique and commonly practiced diets available, as instead of cutting back on what you can eat, it simply creates a regimented timeline of when you can eat. Besides the aforementioned information, I'd like to get more in depth as to what exactly intermittent fasting is, how it works, and what other benefits aside from weight loss it achieves. Intermittent fasting consists of fasting for a certain period of time, chosen based on what best works for the person taking part in the diet. There are multiple approaches to intermittent fasting, the most common being the 16-8 regimen, in which you would eat all of your meals for the day within an 8-hour period, and the remaining 16 hours would be spent fasting. This is the most manageable style of fasting and tends to lead to more long-term success for participants. The second approach is referred to as the 5-2 plan, in which you choose 2 days of the week to eat only one meal between 500 and 600 calories, and the remaining 5 days are spent eating normally. The final and least recommended regimen would involve the participant fasting for 24, 36, or even 72-hour periods of time. It should be noted that this method has not necessarily proven to be any more effective than the previous two approaches and can be considered as dangerous. While intermittent fasting does not restrict the foods you can eat, that does not mean that you should go crazy in the hours you are not fasting. You should still try to maintain a balanced and nutritious diet that focuses on eating whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, and good sources of protein, primarily staying away from refined sugars and carbohydrates. Now I've explained what intermittent fasting is and the different options for achieving it, but I'd like to get into how exactly intermittent fasting works to help you lose weight. Regularly, our bodies begin by using the sugar and carbohydrates we ingest for energy. However, once those resources have been depleted, our bodies will tap into fat stores for energy instead, effectively burning fat. When in a fasted state, our bodies are more likely to burn fat for energy and to do it over an extended period of time, as we're not refueling our bodies with more carbohydrates or sugars through eating. This is referred to as intermittent metabolic switching, or IMS, which signals the body to activate maintenance and repair systems, aiding in disease prevention. In an article published in the New England Journal of Medicine by Johns Hopkins neuroscientist Mark Mattson, it states that many things happen during intermittent fasting that can protect organs against chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, age-related neurodegenerative disorders, inflammatory bowel disease, and many cancers. Research has revealed that intermittent fasting has been proven to show a boost in verbal memory in adults, improved blood pressure and heart rate, increased physical performance, endurance, and fat loss that maintains muscle mass. Now, while the effects of intermittent fasting have exhibited a slew of health benefits, for the purpose of this video, I'm primarily focused on intermittent fasting's effect on insulin resistance, as well as the diseases that insulin resistance plays a major role in, such as type 2 diabetes and polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. You may be wondering, what is insulin resistance? Well, to put it simply, insulin resistance occurs when the hormone insulin, which is usually responsible for controlling the amount of glucose in the blood, is no longer properly received by the cells in your fat, muscles, and liver. This means that glucose is not able to enter your cells as easily, and therefore your body is not able to use it in your blood for energy. To make up for that, the pancreas produces more and more insulin in the hopes of making it easier for the glucose to enter your cells. However, over time, the cells will become too resistant to the insulin and the glucose will begin to build up in your blood, causing high blood sugar levels, and ultimately, if left untreated, it could lead to type 2 diabetes. In order to avoid this, there are methods that can reverse the effects and occurrence of insulin resistance, such as exercise and a healthy diet. So if a healthy diet is capable of reversing insulin resistance, would intermittent fasting be a suitable treatment method? And if so, what effect does intermittent fasting have on insulin resistance? Well, research has shown proof that intermittent fasting is a relatively effective way of reducing insulin resistance along with improving overall health outcomes. According to research conducted by Mark Mattson, Intermittent fasting is effective at reducing body weight, decreasing fasting glucose, decreasing fasting insulin, reducing insulin resistance, decreasing levels of leptin, and increasing levels of adiponectin. This is because, when in a fasted state, your body is given the opportunity of stabilizing its insulin levels, which gives your pancreas a rest from producing insulin and effectively reducing insulin resistance over time. In a study conducted in 2018, researchers found a link between fasting and the reversal of insulin resistance, even going as far as weaning patients off of their insulin therapy and effectively using fasting as their sole treatment. According to Jason Fung, after taking part in intermittent fasting, participants saw a 3 to 6% reduction of their blood sugar, and their insulin levels were lowered by 20 to 31%. There is no particular fasting method that seems to be more effective when it comes to intermittent fasting. As it was explained by Fung, the style of intermittent fasting that fits your lifestyle and is easiest to maintain will be your most effective way to fast for better insulin sensitivity. So, as we have discussed, type 2 diabetes is a disease that can be caused by insulin resistance. But now, I'd like to get into a disease that causes insulin resistance, and how intermittent fasting can be used as a treatment for its symptoms. Polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, is a rather common condition that affects 1 in 10 women of childbearing age, 116 million women worldwide, and is the most common cause of infertility in women. PCOS's most common symptoms include enlarged ovaries, irregular periods, excess androgen production, difficulty getting pregnant, unwanted hair growth, weight gain, and thinning hair. The complete cause of PCOS is not entirely understood. However, it is known that PCOS is a genetic condition that runs in families and is linked to high levels of insulin in the body and insulin resistance. In a study done by Dodapa Banigida and 2 other colleagues, it was shown that in recent years, intermittent fasting has become a popular method of treating the symptoms of PCOS, and there's plenty of evidence that it has been extremely effective. The main cause of most of PCOS's symptoms is insulin resistance, and by taking part in intermittent fasting, insulin resistance is reduced, and symptoms have been shown to improve drastically. When insulin levels are lowered, the body can better manage androgen production, as insulin has a major effect on many other hormones within the body. Because of this, women with PCOS who have taken part in intermittent fasting have shown improved fertility and regular periods. It is important to say that no singular diet works for everyone. Each diet has its pros and cons. However, intermittent fasting has shown to have numerous weight loss and health benefits. In the case of PCOS and type 2 diabetes, for example, it is possible for some to use the diet to either aid in or entirely take over their treatment. In conclusion, intermittent fasting's positive effects on insulin resistance and its unique design when compared to other common diets today sets it apart and makes it a very viable and easy option for anyone starting out that would like to improve their overall health in a way that works especially for them. Thank you.